Well, the hospital he claimed to be at had no knowledge of him, and he sold out his child, pushing her to put out her own truth inside. I question that based off patient confidentiality. However, we can question a lot when it comes to hospital stays, including Meghan and Harry. But I just want to point out my platform, The Aftermath. It's the aftermath of abuse, what a child could go through experiencing trauma at their parents' hands, in how they have to find a way out by themselves. No support, no financial help like Meghan and Harry we've watched on as they've had. We've also seen evidence after evidence, picture, proof of the relationship Meghan had with her father up until the time she met Harry, and these two worlds collided. Also the same with Harry, we see connections with his family, all good, smiling, happy, healing from that very tragic day. Until he met Meghan and she met Harry, then all of a sudden these toxic families all around them, everyone else was wrong. The thing is with The Aftermath, there are people in this community who stand up, even with the ones that have put them through so much. They're there for them, at their side. They care for them when they're old and weak and frail. They have a choice to make, and a lot of them choose that way. A lot of them cut them out. They're toxic. They ruined my life. I don't want you by my side. But here's the thing, isn't it? You have a choice to make, and like you say, she had no choice but to put her own truth inside. Why did she? Why did she feel the need to come out and say her truth? Wasn't her truth good enough inside? Did she really want to cause this war across the media, the press, leaking letters, whoever that may have been? However, the letter she wrote was perfectly wrote, almost for the people instead of her dad, it seemed. But here's the thing, we watch Harry write in a book, his truth, the truth that we speak. And I see that Taz, it picked up in Harry's book, the spare his own disclaimer of his truth. And I'm just going to take that bit from Taz in how he wrote in his book. Whatever the cause, my memory is my memory. It does what it does. It gathers and creates as it sees fit. And there's just as much truth in what I remember and how I remember it as there is in so-called objective fact. Things like chronology and cause and effect are often just fables we tell ourselves about our past. You see, the thing is, you know, my community, The Aftermath, this community of people that have been wronged so bad, real trauma in their lives, pain you couldn't even dream of to live night and day, fight or flight responses, not in a safe home like we've watched with Harry and Meghan, evidence to support. I mean real fear, real nights of hell as you wake up to that abuse, that pain, that shouting, that screaming in not such a nice place. But I'm writing my book, same with Harry, some might say, but obviously I'm not a princess, I weren't born in a palace, I was born into domestic violence. But when I write my book, or I do any post about my story, The Aftermath, I don't feel the need to bring a disclaimer because that is my truth, that is my story. It's remembered to the very day that I went through that, so I don't need to provide assisted support to help convince or to help support, to help protect. Because those are my words, those are my truth, my real truth. And also with my book, you know, I speak upon the pain that I've been through, the pain that I've watched my family go through. Again, a bit like Harry, but the difference being is my family support. My family want my voice, our story to be heard in order to help others that maybe experience that same pain and abuse. Also with my story and my platform so tiny, I'm using it for good, to help others who find themselves in the same place. There are plenty of people that have experienced wrongs by a parent. There are plenty of parents that have experienced wrongs by their children. 50-50 and meet halfway or simply walk away. But she didn't need to come out and say her truth. They could have walked away with the money, the wealth, and supported mental health. They could have used their words to project their pain, but remained silent and respectful to their families' names. They chose to come out here and do the woe me to everyone far and wide without a care for the family, the people that had supported them all their lives. So this is the reality to most looking on, especially the ones that weren't born into a palace, who were born into a smack den, who were born into a care home, who were born into real trouble and woes, who look on at these two as they claim victimhood of having to wear muted down tones and be given small cottages on Kensington Palace grounds. So that's just my bit, that's just my say of someone who is on here with a platform so small, trying to create good, trying to write a book with no disclaimers, no support, no backup, because they're my words and my actual truth. And I don't need backup to support. And I didn't, like so many, get a platform with Gabor.